We don't have much time left before the election, and just my anxiety levels are just through the fucking roof. You know, one day I'll hear Trump's a little ahead, and then I'll hear Kamala's a little ahead, and now I'm hearing they're kind of neck and neck. I'm like, for fuck's sake, it should not be this fucking hard. It really shouldn't. You've got one candidate saying that 18 to 25-year-olds are stupid. They're stupid. And you've got another candidate that literally wants to now end federal income tax. I'm for that. I'm definitely for that. But there's already people who have already cast their vote. That was the thing. Now, I will admit, had Trump said that before voting started, that might have helped already. But he waited. But hey, Election Day is November 5th. It's not November 3rd. It's not November 4th. It's November 5th. It is not weeks before the election. This whole early voting thing and mail-in voting is bullshit, okay? It should be like abortion. Rare. Okay? Old people with disabilities and other especially special needs people, yes, I can understand. They may need a little bit of a boost to help them vote. However, for people like you and me, there is no fucking excuse in the world you could possibly give to not go and vote on the day of the election. Oh, wait. There's that one very big excuse that everybody loves to do. I ain't waiting in that long-ass line. Fuck that. Really? A line. But let me get this. You'll wait in line for hours on end for a late night release of a video game. Right? And for anybody who worked at GameStop, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those midnight releases. Oh, what a nightmare. Those were horrible. You're the kind of people who will wait outside of those service buildings where people get their EBT cards and all their federal assistance and all that. You'll wait in that line. You'll wait in that line to get free stuff. You'll wait in line for hours to do what you want to do. But when the one day out of all the year that the federal government really technically should be asking for you to do, and you should be really required as an American citizen to do, is go out on that one day to vote. Not months, not weeks, not years. Day. Why do we even call it election day anymore? Why can't we just call it election month? If we're going to keep doing this, why don't we just call it election month? And not to mention, November 5th, in my mind, was a real bad day to choose to have as election day. I mean, if you really want to be able to have everybody go out and vote, do it on a weekend. No. That's too easy. That's too easy. No. My anxiety is through the roof, and it's hard for me to focus. I mean, I'm going through some issues right now with even being able to vote. I am still currently waiting for an actual factual state ID because I currently do not have a driver's license. Because apparently, when you lose a driver's license, when your driver's license expires, you can't buy cigarettes, you can't buy alcohol, you can't vote, you can't do a lot of things. You can't purchase a gun, you can't go to a gun range, you can't do anything without that little piece of plastic having to be valid. It makes no sense to me. Just because my driver's license expires, I've said this before, just because that piece of plastic expires doesn't mean I do. I'm still 42 fucking years old. My birthday is still the same as it is on that piece of plastic. So is my social security number. The only thing that may have changed is the address. Oh, God, we have to restrict this man from having, any, normal rights as everybody else because his driver's license is expired. Ooh, ooh. But look at this. I still buy my cigarettes because not every place cards yet. But no, if you go to the grocery store or you go to an actual franchise-owned place, company-owned, corporate-owned place, yeah, you can't buy your cigarettes. Oh, see your ID? Why? I have facial hair. I have gray hairs. I have wrinkles. I'm 42 fucking years old and you're still going to card my ass. Really, really, really pisses me off. Anyways, like I said, to have so much anxiety about what's going on with the election, it's driving me absolutely insane. Because I'm just noticing every day people are getting quieter. I mean, obviously we're still having the same noise from the media and all that, but people around me currently are getting quieter. You try to even say hello to them, and it's before they even think about responding to you. They're running everything through their head. Is he a Republican? Is he for Trump? Is he a racist? Is he a sexist, a bigot? Just everything. Everything that's been going on is culminating to this moment. And it's just going to make or break everything. I mean, if Harris wins, there's going to be shit going on. If Trump wins, there's going to be shit going on. There's going to be shit going on no matter what happens. So people like you and me are going to be the ones stuck in the middle. So it's like I can't predict things. I don't like to predict things. So right now I'm just saying I'm right here. It's like I don't know. I used to be able to be pretty good at this. I can predict Super Bowls and football games, not so much as basketball or even baseball games, even though I love baseball. The fact is that I used to be able to predict Super Bowls. I pretty much guaranteed that the Patriots were going to win every single one of their Super Bowls way before, just as you're starting to hear about them. I'm like, the Patriots are going to win, and they're like, what? And I'm like, why? Well, they're the Patriots. It just kind of makes sense. And sure as shit they did. But when it came to presidents and Congress and Senates and all that, I can't. I can't predict that because the way everything fluctuates so violently now. So violently. I mean, one minute everybody could be in love with an upcoming game, and then the next minute it just absolutely despise it for one little thing. I mean, look what happened when the original Sonic movie came out. We saw the original look of Sonic, and everybody was all like, oh my God, we need to change that. It is horrible. Somebody changes it, and then they actually change it and fix it, and then some people were still going, why did you change it? Like, oh, come on, make up our minds for us. People are so divided on everything, I mean, I even had one person actually, when I was telling them about how, we don't make the old-fashioned light bulbs anymore, everything's going LED. I was like, well, what's going to happen when, people start getting pissed off that they can't find LED, basically they can't use this light anymore, or this fixture anymore, because it doesn't run on LED. It runs on that. LED stripping and prefixed LED lights. I'm like, you can't replace that. You have to replace the whole fucking fixture. Yeah, obviously they have the bulbs and all. But still, I've seen some issues with those fucking things. I've turned off an LED light bulb, and the fucker was still on. And I was like, I unscrewed it, and the fucker was still on. This LED light bulb stayed on for 30 minutes. Unplugged, unscrewed out of the fixture. I'm like, what the heck? What the heck? And that was just happened to be a day I didn't have my phone on. Otherwise, I would have recorded it. But I'm holding this light bulb, and I'm hoping my boss comes by. Like I would have held it over my head. Hey, Raj, I got an idea. Or I would have put it in my mouth like Uncle Fester. But this fucking thing was still running. So that was pretty shocking. But no, so many things have changed so rapidly that it's hard for a lot of people, for you and for me, where we're tiptoeing around everything. We're tiptoeing on eggshells around everything. I mean, we're being told now about the food that we're eating, how bad it is for us. We already knew that, but nothing's ever been done about it. Senators and congressmen and presidents have all talked before about, making food healthier for people. But have they done it? I mean, we've got organic, yeah, but there's still the issues with that. We've got plant-based, and we have our issues with that. And then, of course, there's 3D printed meat, the idea of that. And I'm not even entertaining that idea. But what they're talking about with food now is stuff we already knew. However, it's like they're talking about Red 40. We were talking about Red 5, being what's killing us all. But what can we do about it when all the food we eat is this stuff? It's like, yeah, sure, I can get a glass of water out of my faucet, but they say there's fluoride in the water. So I'm like, well, shit. Okay, grab a bottle of water. Oh, there's microplastics in that. Oh, fuck. When you go to a fast food restaurant, I want to get a hamburger, not burger. I mean, it's like when they have to ask you, do you want that impossible or regular? Like, what? No. I mean, and the drinks that we drink. I mean, yeah, growing up, all kids wanted the sugary stuff. And but when I still saw the commercials for even Sunny D, everybody was saying, oh, Sunny D's better than the sugary stuff. But then you find out it's just as bad. You're like, fuck, you can't win for losing. So it's like, what do we do? What do we really do? It doesn't matter whether or not Harris is president. It doesn't matter whether or not Trump is president. It doesn't matter who's in the Senate. It doesn't matter who's in Congress. None of it really matters. In the long run, they've still got us all. Both sides have got us. They want us buying the garbage that's killing us slowly. That's being subsidized for their evil plans of world domination. For fuck's sake. I mean, if you haven't figured it out yet, we buy the products from the companies. The company sends that to their political parties to help them further getting them more profits. And that they can just charge us more for the stuff that's killing us. And if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm sorry, can't do nothing for you. But we chug it down like good little sheep. For that reason. Because we've been addicted to everything. Everything is addicting. And especially when it comes to ASMR. Haven't you noticed that? ASMR has become an addiction. You have to have people who can't fall asleep without hearing somebody's just or whatever, making goofy little fucking sounds in their cameras with those fake fucking ears and shit. That's an addiction. I mean, growing up, we were told cigarettes was bad for you. Yeah, that you get addicted to cigarettes and addicted to marijuana and other drugs. Well, we've just about legalized every drug, and and alcohol. Out of all of it, alcohol is legal. Some things should not be legal, obviously. And it's like, oh, weed is so bad for you, so bad. Look at alcohol. Nobody ever. We talk about drunk driving. That's about it. Friends don't let friends drive drunk. Well, has that stopped anybody lately? Not that I've noticed. People are still just chugging back the 40s and then hopping in their Honda Civics and burning out in the middle of an intersection and then crashing into a fucking cement pillar. There were no survivors. Well, how is that working out for the federal government when, they legalized marijuana in a lot of states? And I don't like that. I really don't like that. Yes, in my mind, it is the lesser of the drugs out there, in my personal opinion. However, when it comes to alcohol, we should all know that's way worse. It's way worse. And I'd have to say even way worse than other drugs like cocaine or even meth and all that, because look what happens with people on alcohol. I mean, they fucking become the Hulk. You know, when you have one little dude like me possibly being able to fight off 3 or 4 police officers just because I'm drunk off my ass and I've got a rush of adrenaline going through me, and these guys are going, he's really putting up this much of a fight? You know, it's like, yeah, alcohol will do that to you. Whether or not I'm fully clothed is, you know, would be yet to be seen. That's one of the reasons why I stopped drinking, because I had a tendency to take articles of clothing off. Well, enough about me. I have so much to worry about because I notice so many other people aren't worrying about it. And as I've stated before, I do these live streams whether people are watching or not. And I've seen plenty of people come and go. See, I just lost another one, and I've said that before. I've seen people come and go. But as long as you stay for a second or two just to hear me out, that's fine. If you walk away with a little bit of extra knowledge, that's fine. And I know I'm probably saying a lot of stuff that, you know, is just obviously, hopefully obvious to people, you know, but it seems nowadays more and more that this information that should be very, very basic to everybody has to be reintroduced to the public, you know. You look both ways before you cross the street. Not stare at your phone when you cross the street. You know, and then bitch at me when I honk my horn at you. Or sue me if I hit you. Because you were the one who ran out in front of me when I didn't. You know, we're not getting into that. I've had a few incidences like that myself. That's why I like this one picture of a truck I saw. It was completely covered. I mean, from front to back in spikes, big metal spikes, or most likely plastic, obviously, because it's illegal to put metal spikes on your vehicle. Anyway, this whole truck was covered in these spikes, and I'm like, that's what I need around my car, just to give some of these people a little more to think about. Because I'll sure as hell tell you this much. Riding my bike in the morning as early as I do, because I can drive if I wanted to. Illegally, but I could drive. But I ride a bike. Luckily, I do not work that very far away from my home. So, party bonus for me. People don't care. People, like I said, people have become so numb to what's going on that general information, not misinformation or disinformation or malinformation or falsifications of all kinds of nations, I don't know. And those are all made up, by the way. That's all bullshit. There's so much distrust of everyone. I mean, right now, everyone who's watching me, who don't know me, you have no reason to trust me. You have no reason to listen to me. So, try this out. Go ahead and just leave me right now. Just leave me. Go away. No? No? I mean, I'm not keeping you here. So there must be a reason why you're here. I need to know what that is. That way I can help inform you better on something that you may not know that much about. That's what humans do. But now it's mansplaining. And now it's, you know, it's sexist to say this, or it's, you know, misogynistic to say that. No, it's speech. Let us speak. I mean, they said, friends, Romans, lend me your ears, right? Oh, I had a long day at work, and these live streams can take it. But I just want people to stop and really, really listen to the true common sense, not the common sense of the left, and in a lot of ways, not the common sense of the right. Listen to the common sense that has been ingrained throughout the ages through finely tuned structures called the Ten Commandments. You didn't think of that, did you? When the Constitution and Bill of Rights was made, obviously the Ten Commandments were in mind at the same time. So that's why they wanted so badly to keep government and religious stuff separate, because to correlate them would show a clear bias right there on the spot. I mean, what would we say right now if every Democrat was Jewish and say every single Republican was Christian? What kind of society would we have then? Or let's take it a step further then. What if the Democrats were all Jewish and Republicans were all, let's just say it, Israelis? No, wait. Scratch that. Strike that from the record. If the Democrats were all Jewish, but Republicans were all Muslim, how would our society be then? You have to look at the chain reaction of how things have happened. And if we stray too far from the structure that was keeping us basically safe from the outer countries from invading us at any given time, as though some of them had tried, and learned the lesson. If we don't stay structured in what has been and still hold that burden on our back, unlike Kamala, who wants to unburden us from that. No, we must hold that burden. Because ever since we got pulled into World War II, and we were no longer the sleeping giant, that is when I can honestly tell you, that is when it started. Right then and there. When we got involved in somebody else's business. We should never have gotten involved in other countries' business. If they threaten us, yes, we retaliate. But if somebody else over there were threatening somebody else over there, why are we the ones who got to say, oh, whoa, hey guys, you got to break it up a little bit there? Unless, of course, there's some sort of mutual benefit, mutual agreement to say, hey, we're going to mess with these people over here. Do you mind if we do that? Oh, well, you know, we do have that trade agreement, so yeah, we won't say anything. Go ahead. I've had a hard time making a smaller video about this. I do not understand why our government is supporting the Ukraine-Russian war, but yet they want to end peacefully the Israeli-Hamas war. They want to end that, but they don't want to end Russia and Ukraine. Has anybody picked up on that one? I have. Like, from the beginning. I'm like, wait, they keep putting all this money over there, but yet they want peace over here. They don't want this war. They want this one. Why? Because Israel is an ally. Ukraine is not. We can't launder money through an ally, so we're going to launder money through a non-ally. Who we're saying, oh yeah, well, we feel sorry for you, so we're going to give you some help. Yeah, well, here's a few billions and trillions of dollars just to, launder that, nicely crisp and press it, please, no bleach. Honestly, when you're a kid, when you hear that term, the first thing you think of is your mother and father putting all their money into a laundry machine and just hitting the spin cycle. Like, what's laundering money? And it wasn't until Lethal Weapon 2 did the whole country find out truly what money laundering was, in my mind. That's at least when I figured it out. When you listen to Leo Getz, Joe Pesci's character, he explains money laundering perfectly. And then when you listen to that and then you apply that to what you're hearing and what you're seeing, you go, it's money laundering. That's all it is. It's money laundering. Again, I say this because soon I may not have the chance to. I've been bold up to now on my channel. But in a couple of days, about a week or so, whenever they announce who won, this will decide whether or not you see me again, whether or not my channel stays up. Because all it takes, all it takes is, from a certain candidate from their administration to go, hey, YouTube, we want you to censor every single thing that we don't like. And then, boom, I'm gone. And I won't like that. Because I don't want to go to Rumble. I don't want to go to Odyssey. I want to go where apparently we were supposed to go in the first place. YouTube. Now it's their tube. It would be their tube. And you know who tube. When Elon Musk came out and straight up said that they want to squash Twitter, they want to kill Twitter and arrest him, and you even have a person who works for Kamala straight saying that, yes, we want to wipe out Musk's Twitter. I'm like, what other proof do you need? What is the proof that you need? What is the proof? Does she need to stand right in front of you? Right in front of you? Or do we need to, Clockwork Orange your eyes open to a screen of everything she said? Of everything she said. For you to believe it? No. Because you'd still go, it's a lie! It's a lie! You would! You people. If she wins, I lose all faith in humanity. I lose all faith in our government. I will give them nothing from me. I will not give them my land. And yes, this is currently my land. It is bought and paid for. I have to pay for the stupid property taxes, yes. But it is my land. You step onto my land, my property, I will show you why we had the Second Amendment. And you will definitely hear why we have the First Amendment. And to any of you people out there who may be scrolling through, who says, oh, well, screw your free speech, what the hell is wrong with you? Don't let me catch you. Don't let me catch you. Who in their right mind would say, oh, I want people to come by and shut me up if they don't agree with me? I would love that. Wouldn't it be funny if they banned free speech, but then all of a sudden, a Republican, becomes president, say after Kamala, and says, you know what? We'll keep the no free speech thing, but we're going to apply it to this. You won't be happy about that, would you? Those dogs are so sensitive to voice and sound, except for their one Sonny. As soon as he comes out, he is barking instantly. So I try to stay quiet. If I stay quiet enough, he'll do his business and then go back inside. That's the only problem with doing live streams outside. That's the only place I can smoke, because I don't smoke in my home, unlike so many other people, and it's just disgusting. I have to clean and paint over nicotine-covered walls, because I ain't washing that shit off. Fuck that. If you all look back, my very first video on my channel was a unit where a guy lived there for 20 years, and he smoked heavily. The walls were just a sticky brown. You put your fingers on it and it was tacky. Like, oh, the sliding glass doors were horrible. But we did our thing, and it was fine. It was great. But now I heard that complex has gone to shit since we left. Same with two other, basically three of the four complexes that I used to work for. They are worse than they were when I was working there. We kept them clean. We kept the tenants happy. We didn't put up with any bullshit. And everything ran smoothly. But as soon as our boss sold the place off, just down in the shitholes again. And Paul, if you happen to be watching, I drive past Eakin every so often, dude, you will not believe what happened to that place, man. After everything we did there, after every fucking thing, every chandelier, every floor sanded, every pile of junk moved out of those vacant units, bro. We we totally we remember what the tenants were saying. They were like, this place wasn't like this when we moved in, and we were like, well, thank you, but now, dude, unrecognizable, unrecognizable. I I I doubt there's a single set of blinds that we ever put up still hanging, or at least functional. Um, Screen doors. What screen doors? All those screen doors, bro. I can only imagine the insides. I can only imagine. But I haven't heard anything about Old Cape Colony yet, because they wanted me to come back to work for them after they said, oh no, we won't be needing your maintenance guys. So, we have our own. She wanted to hire me back, but under their rules and all that and their pay structure. And I'm like, They're like 1 week for a turn in any unit, no matter what the condition. I'm like, lady, obviously you don't know the condition of these fucking units, okay? I was standing fucking knee deep in sewage underneath these buildings while trying to repair piping and repair flooring. Do not tell me that these places take 1 fucking week to do. Ain't happening, babe. Well, let's just see, needs to say, she was enlightened. And that's what I like to do. I like to enlighten people, whether you take my advice or not. Every day I hear other influencers and people on the internet expressing their opinions and giving their statements on specific topics. So why can't I? There's a lot of people that I know are like, oh, Rick, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be saying these kind of things. Like, why not? I've got to listen to all the other garbage that I hear. Why can't people listen to my garbage? I mean, I've told people before this too. The more people that watch me, the higher I go. So there's if I saw that viewer count like start to skyrocket after that, that would have you. But there are so many people trapped in their own bubbles, their own realities, their own worlds, and it's sad. It's really, really sad. And we've learned nothing. We have learned absolutely nothing. And I mean nothing from past films and shows that quite illustrated a possible future. It seems like we've even steered towards those types of futures. For example, Johnny Mnemonic, one of Keanu Reeves' breakout roles. It was all about having implants in you where you get jacked into to the internet, and information can be uploaded and downloaded out of your head and out of your body and all that. It's weird, but there was that, and yet it's like everybody's like, oh yeah, that's a crazy future to think about, but we're steering towards that. I mean, if you learned any life lessons through Star Trek, or it's like, is that a future that we would want? Some would say yes. I would love a future where world hunger isn't a thing. Death is prolonged for you could live to be almost 200 as a human. I mean, look, the future that we all want compared to the future that we're getting is always going to be shaky. Some people say we're going to have Judge Dredd future. Some people say we're going to have... Some people... Yeah, I guess they don't like that. Some people say we're going to have Demolition Man future. And personally, I don't want either. And I don't know. It's like, if we keep doing what we're doing, what will happen? When you don't have as many friends as myself, I don't have many friends to keep me occupied and keep me from overthinking things. I'm just left to my own devices, and I'm on tangents. I mean, hell, at work, I'm just painting walls all day, so I have nothing but time to do is think. And so I take things one step at a time, as we all should. When you think about one thing that is a possibility, you think about everything that could possibly happen after that. And then you take those possibilities and you break it down even further. And then you stop and you go, okay, but here's the other choice. Here's the other path. And you do the same thing with that path. And I'm telling you what, even with this election, if you decided to stop and really, really look at what the true path should be, not incoherent, stumbling, fumbling over words, and constantly flip-flopping on issues, as opposed to clear, concise guidelines, policies, and all that, that's you. You should be able to know common sense, a common structure that we've, like I said before, the structure that we all follow, that we've all followed for such a long time, has been just totally shot. You know, everybody is breaking off into their own tangents. You know, in every sexuality, in every religion, in every political leaning, in every which way, we're being ripped apart. And the reasoning is because without that divide, things get noticed. If we're not at each other's throats, we're noticing what other people are doing. Even when we do notice what these people are doing, they go, no, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not giving all this money away. No, we're not doing it. No. We're told things are good for us when they're really not. Like I've mentioned before, I do not care for unions. Originally, they served their initial purpose, but after that, they got hungrier. They got more greedy. And to almost where they're now a political power, the Union Party. How come the unions don't do that yet? Did I just start that? I've just started that? I mean, everything could be so politicized where it could be its own fucking party. We'll have the LGBT party, so they'll have their candidate. We'll have the Union Party. They'll have their candidate. Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Centralists, Capitalists, Anarchists, Communists, Socialists, Marxists. When will it stop? They would all have their candidates. How divided will we be then? Think about that. This country could have gone so many different ways if the wars that we fought here were different. What if the Indians had managed to drive us out? You have to stop and think. There were so many variables by today's historical standards that, as the Marvel Universe would put it, there's a multiverse of worlds out there that all took a different straying path that could have had dramatic effects on our reality. What if Martin Luther King was never shot? What if Kennedy was never shot? Abraham Lincoln was never shot. What if that never happened? What if the civil rights movement never happened? You know? What if the KKK were never formed? What would have happened? Whether it be good or bad, we still would not have known, because nobody decided to jump that far ahead and think of the consequences of their own actions. They keep talking about, here's the thing, you know why they're talking about Nazis so much lately and fascists? Because they can't say KKK anymore. They can't say the Ku Klux Klan anymore. Because who's heard from the Ku Klux Klan in a while? Not since Bobby Berg died, right? Was that his name? Oh, the KKK Grandmaster that Obama and George Soros and even Biden attended. Yeah, the funeral of. They attended his funeral. So, yeah, ingrain that in your mind. So many things could have happened if, as they would say, could change the time, the continuum of time. Stepping on that one ant or that, squashing that one fly could have changed the outcome of the future if you were to go back in time. I mean, if I went back in time and stopped John Wilkes Booth from shooting Abraham Lincoln, what would have happened? What would have happened? People would have seen, they would have heard the gunshot. Like if I came in just in time and I pushed the gun away and he still fired but missed, somebody would have looked up and seen me doing that, and then all of a sudden, poof, disappearing. And they would have arrested John Wilkes Booth because he obviously didn't know you have one shot. He had one shot. And if he missed that one shot, and he misses the shot, I achieved my goal, and I return. Somebody would have seen that. That whole theater would have seen that. And I could have jeopardized the future. But like I'm saying with now, the paths that we choose now between Harris and Trump, no matter what happens, I am more worried about the tangents that break off from those choices. If Kamala wins, what happens after that? If Trump wins, what happens after that? I mean, with Trump, we know what's going to happen, but we don't know what's going to happen on the other side. We don't know what they're going to do to this side. It all gets, and that's what they're doing. They're twisting what could possibly be. Everything that gets blocked, everything that gets halted, or gets held up in court and in legislation, every holdup is detrimental to progression, as the progressives would want. They want this stuff to progress faster. They want things to progress. And I've said before, when you stop and look at the names that have been given to these groups, progressives, they want society to progress. Conservatives, we want to conserve what we have and dole it out when necessary. Liberals want to slop that shit on like fucking, too much butter on a slice of bread, way too much fucking jelly. They just, like, you want more? Oh, here's some more, here's some more, here's some more. Oh, we're running low. Oh, no, it's okay. Here's some more, here's some more, here's some more. Don't even get me started with libertarians. And like I said, I have my own problems with capitalism. I don't think that one person should have, including Donald Trump, I don't think that George Soros, I don't think that Donald Trump, and I don't think that Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or any other person that owns millions upon millions upon millions and billions of dollars should be allowed that much money. Because when you stop and think, our lifespans are only for, let's just say, a rounded off nice number, 100 years. If we are lucky enough to see 100, then we have lived, I say, a good life. Look at George Soros. Look how fucking old he is. And look how much money he has. And look what he's doing with that money. When you're that fucking old, you don't fucking care. And on top of that, the amount of money that these people have, again, including Trump, the amount of money that these millionaires have, I am tired of hearing them say, we need your help. Send what you can to these starving children, or send money to, hostages here or that. But yet, wait a minute, you've got how much money, Oprah? You've got how much money, Dwayne Johnson? You've got how much money there, Mark Ruffalo? You got how much money, George Soros? You want us all to send our money to this, that, and the other, but yet are you sending any of your money? Any substantial amount of money? No. And of course you say, oh, it's for my future generation and family. Let them earn their own money. This generational wealth thing is part of the problem that we have today. The younger generations get their hands on money before they even know the true value of it, and they just disrupt the entire economy. I mean, what's his name? That punk kid who walks around bumping into people with his bodyguard. Was it Jack Doherty or something? Fucker who crashed his sports car? Yeah, perfect example of generational wealth that has gone wrong. He blew his money on that car, which was hideous, by the way, and didn't respect what he had. And look what happened to him. His fame and his fortune got him nowhere. And this is the stuff that we're not showing to our kids. We're not telling the kids the negative impacts of social media. I tell my daughter on the daily the negative impacts of social media on this, that it's having on her subliminally. She may not be wanting to think. She may not think she's thinking a certain way, but she is through the content she's absorbing. And and believe me, I follow her. I follow her YouTube channel. She uploads little meme videos, if that's what they call them. Either way, I keep an eye on them. And when I see one I don't like, I say, hey, Emmy, take it down. Take it down. That is inappropriate. I do not like it. I let some slide because I don't find too much harm in it. But there have been some that, again, you parents need to do a better keep a better eye on what your kids are watching and what your kids are posting. Because I am sick and tired of seeing brotherly love construed as homosexuality. I'm tired of it. I have two other brothers, and I have other siblings that I am not as familiar with. I did not grow up with them. However, these two I did. And yes, we loved each other. However, we did not love each other. I love my little brother. I love my big brother. No, it was not that fucking sappy. So, you young girls who ship brother characters together, such as Cuphead, Mugman, or Sans and Papyrus from Undertale, or Michelangelo, or any of the Ninja Turtles, when you want to show brotherly love, it's roughhousing, it's teasing, it's poking fun, it's playing jokes. It's not hearts and hugs and and all that. He's crying, gotta hug him. No, it's like, no, my brother fell down and scraped his knee. I said, get up, come on, you're fine. That's what brothers do. I don't get down to his level. Oh, it's okay. Here, cry on my shoulder. No, that is how too many young men are being feminized, by watching what young women are posting. They think, oh, Michelangelo and Leonardo do that, so me and my brother are going to do that. We're not going to, poke fun at each other and call each other names. That's what boys do. That's what boys do. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. But no, these women, the ones that I personally can't stand, they can't stand boys, a toxic man, toxic masculinity. Well, it's that toxic masculinity that's kept your engine running, huh? In more ways than one. And we're the one. It's that toxic masculinity that builds the buildings, that builds the homes you live in. It's the toxic masculinity that builds the roads you drive on, and it's that toxic masculinity that drives your Louis Vuitton and Gucci clothes to the stores. So don't give me this bullshit that men are toxic, because I can assure you we can be far more toxic than you would like us to be. Do you want us to be more toxic? Because I can, and I have been. I have been every parent's and every teacher's nightmare. I've said it before, my schools were terrified of me because I was noticing their bullshit at a young age. No, you can't tell me I can't go to the bathroom. And that was that. I got up and I went to the fucking bathroom. Whether they suspended me or whatever, it didn't fucking matter. Detention, I didn't care. You're not going to tell me I can't go to the bathroom. But now my daughter is telling me that in her school, and I'm going to call them out right here and right now, Westmore Middle School, here in Columbus, Ohio, West Side. Why are you locking the children out of the bathroom at a certain time? Oh, because apparently kids are caught goofing around and fighting in there? Well, guess what you do? You surveillance it with a security guard who checks it every so often. He is to open the door for the men's room. He is to go in the men's room and check every, say, 10, 15 minutes. That's what a school security does. And if not them, administrators. I'm sick and tired of so many administrators doing what? Doing what? What does a vice principal and a principal do in a school? Really? If the kids are showing up and the kids are in class, teachers are teaching the kids The only thing that a principal and a vice principal does is handle disputes and, pay the teachers. However, these administrators need to do their job more. Remember the old movies back in the 80s? Remember Principal Strickland from Back to the Future? Or just Dangerous Minds. Any movie where you had a strict, stern, The Substitute. Wasn't that a Denzel Washington film? I don't think I ever saw that. But regardless, is that all these strict principal movies, where did they go? Where did the strict principals go? The ones that literally did walk the halls, stop at every school classroom and peek in, even walk in and stop and stay a minute, going, "Don't mind me, ma'am. Don't mind me, Mrs. Whatsoever. Go ahead and continue." And they go, and the teacher will continue to teach, or not even, and the principal will be able to watch. And if he notices everybody's minding themselves, he walks out and goes to the next classroom. And on his way, he checks the bathrooms. Yeah. You ever remember the song, "Smoking in the Boys' Room"? Yeah. Well, that happened because the fact is, principals were always catching students smoking in the men's room and women's room, when the fact being that they checked the bathrooms. In between periods, you check the bathrooms. When everybody's supposed to be in class, you check the bathrooms. And if you happen to see somebody, and you don't have to surveil the inside of the bathroom, but you can put a camera on the outside, why not? And have somebody watching that camera. The administrators, or that secretary sitting by her desk, she can watch the cameras too. "Sir, there's been a young man in the bathroom now for about 10 minutes. Do you might want to go check on him?" More surveillance. That's how you stop all that bullshit. They cause a rebellious nature in each and every one of us through the rules and regulations that they place upon us. And like I said, whether it be Democrat or Republican, I don't care for a lot of them, in a way. The laws that are passed in this country are too restrictive on all of us. I've said before, like I said in the beginning, licenses. It's ridiculous. There are people out here who I know for a fact have driven their entire time that they've been old enough to drive without a license or insurance. And they have never, ever gotten pulled over. Never, ever gotten into one fucking crash. One of them is still currently driving the same car for all this time and doesn't even have a scratch on it. And the man has not had his license or insurance, as far as I know, ever. So why is it necessary for every single one of us to have a piece of plastic to state that we are legal to drive a motor vehicle? It makes absolutely no sense to me. And the insurance thing is even worse, even absolutely worse. While it makes sense on a surface level, when you, of course, obviously everybody knows when you go deeper in the rabbit hole of insurance, whether it be car, home, health, whatever insurance, you find out it's a hell of a lot worse than it was originally made to sound out on the commercials. The commercials make insurance sound so fucking easy, but when you sit down with that person, oh, good fucking luck. Everything that makes our lives more difficult was made that way to make somebody else's life easier. Same thing with technology. Every piece of technology that comes out makes it easier for us to do things. It makes life easier. However, there's some technology that I am tired. I don't understand. Like I've stated before, why are we going down that path? Why are we taking a path of technological superiority when we already have kind of seen through movies and shows that AI may not be the greatest fucking idea? And I've already seen examples of this particular thing already bubbling, and it's a little frightening. However, as they've said before, and I'll believe this right now, we're far beyond fucking Terminators walking down the street. Okay, right now these robots, if they were walking down the street, halt, human, boom, just kick the fucker over. Emergency, malfunction. Yeah, that's what it would be. So I'm not too worried about that. But I am worried about the surveillance part of it. drones with AI. They'll fly manless flying drones. They're told to surveil a certain address or a certain building. That drone will take a detailed outside picture of everything it can of that structure or area. That's not cool. Now, luckily, in my area, in my neighborhood, the only drones that I've seen flying around are for football games. There's been sometimes whoever's taking photos for the football games, they'll have a drone. I'll see it. I'll even kind of hear a little, and I'll look out there and I'll see this little thing hovering around. I'm like, it's just a little drone. But I'm yet to see, like out there in China, those drones floating down the street with the microphone shouting orders at everybody. We're far beyond that. But I think the reason why is because they know we won't tolerate that. They already know that. And that's just exactly why people like Hillary Clinton and who's that other guy? John Kerry? Yeah, John Kerry. Climate czar? Yeah. They're so afraid of losing control. They straight said, we will lose control. They were basically stating that they have lost control. They lost control, but they say we will have completely lost control. They hadn't completely lost it, but they have lost most control over us because we were onto their scandals and onto them because of journalism, because of reporting, and because of television. Television and radio. Those were the two biggest things that evolved so greatly that we were able to see in places and be in places we weren't in before. A reporter can go into the White House. A reporter could go into, with a microphone and camera, could go into the Senate or Congress and the Oval Office and all that and hear word for word what they're saying. Not, what we were only shown, through specific clips because you have to go, remember back in the day, way back in the day, everybody had to go to the movie theater for their news. And they'd have to pick up the newspaper, which could be heavily edited, or if not at all, just totally censored, then they would never know. Same thing with the news that they would get through at the theaters. That was the beginning of the censoring of what was really happening, what was really going on. And it wasn't that bad at the time. But over the years, they said, hey, we're making a lot of money off of lying and falsifying things, and we're getting what we want if we hide this, that, and the other. And before you know it, every news outlet and media outlet was doing it. And the ones who didn't, they were mysteriously just abandoned. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I feel when it came to the old way of just turning on your TV and you had 4, 6, 10, 28, just the main basic channels. When they finally shut those stations down, don't quote me, but it seems like that was the true death of true journalism, in my opinion. And when everything went digital, everything could be edited and re-edited and just pulled off, and not everybody was capable of recording. Remember back in the day, you could pop, like whenever the news came on, if you knew you were going to miss the news and there was something on you wanted to hear about, you had to put a VHS tape in and preset it sometimes to record at a certain time. Well, they didn't like that. They didn't like that certain tapes were popping up. Like the Diddy tapes. For fuck's sake, Diddy was making these tapes when there was still VHS camcorders. Remember that. So that's what he's talking about, the Diddy tapes. Just as much as the Clinton tapes. They found out that people were recording what they were actually saying and doing. At first, they thought nobody was noticing. Nobody was caring. They thought they had everybody in their back pocket. But then we started learning. People were starting to we started having more discussions about what we were seeing and hearing. Like, wait, what? You heard what? Yeah, dude, I saw this strange video this guy showed me. He said he recorded the news and, Hillary Clinton actually said this or George Bush actually did that. And we're like, wait, what? We're all second guessing ourselves and after what we've already been told. I mean, can you imagine the censorship today if 9/11 was to happen, say, this year? If 9/11 had happened this year, what would the censorship around that, what would the giant cover-up around that be? What would it be like? I have a strong suspicion we would have a total media blackout. Literally. Every single station would go either off the air or they would just not talk about it. They would be able to essentially shut down New York, shut down their internet and say, nope, nothing's getting out of New York. They shut down all cell towers, all services, everything. Shut everything down, barely enough to keep the lights on. That's what a lot of people have. I've heard people say that if 9/11 had happened today, or say the Oklahoma City bombing had happened today, if so many terroristic things that happened in our country happened today, what would the mainstream media be saying? What would our government be doing at that moment? We've seen what happens in the past. We've seen swift, equal, fair justice served so many times, and nowadays it takes a police officer 40, 50 minutes just to get a man to get on his fucking knees and put his hands up because they need to de-escalate it first. No, the man is holding a knife and you're trying to de-escalate it. No, stop the threat. Stop the threat. Just as much as she says. We must stop the threat to democracy. No, well, guess what? You fucked up democracy pretty bad yourself there, bitch. Okay? He's the only one trying to save our republic. I've said before. And the views count for itself on that one. At least I like to think so. But we do not live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic. And if you people cannot get that through your heads, you are not intelligent, and I will never see you as intelligent. If you come to me and say, I went to Yale, and the Second Amendment was not absolute, and I go, yeah, you're a fucking idiot, I would not take you seriously. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to say, if you've been to college within the last, I'd have to say 20 years. We'll say 20 years, maybe even go as far as 25 years. If you've been in college at all in the last 25 years, I will not have any respect for you whatsoever, unless you can prove to me that you're a decent human being. If you say, yeah, I went to Columbus State and I got my gender studies, like, don't fucking talk to me. Don't you fucking talk to me. You didn't get no education. You got bullshit. Don't fucking feed that shit to me. Yeah, I'm getting angry now. Sorry. Anyways, I've been going on for an hour and 2 minutes. I love you all who stopped by. I hope you have a chance to go back and watch the full thing. And I hope I make more sense the more I do this. Thanks for tearing it up with me. I'm Ravage. I'll see you in the next rant.